and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we shall be unboxing and giving an almost review first impressions on what I believe to be one of the rarest Transformers releases of all time. Now before we get into the video, I first of all want to apologise if I do sound slightly unusual in this video. I'm not feeling the best, but nothing was going to stop me from putting this video out, as I am so excited to show you guys what I have finally been able to acquire. You may have already guessed by the title or the thumbnail or even the two figures that I actually have in front of me, the particular figure or figures that we shall be indeed unboxing today. But before we begin the video, this has been a figure, potentially one of the holy grails of Transformers War for Cybertron figures for me. I have just never been given the opportunity to actually pick one of these figures up, let alone for a reasonable price. So an opportunity did arise for me to pick this up, and whilst I did pay a lot more than I would have liked to, this was a figure that I just knew that I always had to add to the collection, despite me already owning the Earthrise versions. The Siege mold, I know, is hit and miss with many. Most collectors do prefer the aesthetic of the Earthrise version. I personally have always loved the articulation that we got here with the Siege version, and despite Hot Link slightly filling in the void that I did have for the third Seeker, he never really hit me in that sweet spot, and I have always been on the hunt for what this particular figure is. So without further ado, I have indeed been able to finally acquire the incredibly elusive Transformers Siege Decepticon Phantom Strike Squadron pack, or as it is also known as the Siege Skywarp. I honestly am so excited to actually own this particular set. Even the packaging art looks incredible. Upon opening this out of the actual box that it came packaged in, obviously to ship to me, I was just gobsmacked. The artwork is beautiful, and I'm so glad that when I do actually remove the contents of this pack, the box will be in pristine condition. You can see that we just have a fantastic image there of Siege Skywarp. I cannot believe that I'm actually saying those words here on the channel, as I really pretty much gave up hope that I was ever going to be able to add one of these here to the collection. Of course, we do have his Battle Masters, which if we spin around here to the back of the box, oh, check out this product shot here of Skywarp. Of course, we've got Shroot, and Pterodactyl. That's quite a cool name for this guy. And we've also got Decepticon Fracas, and we also do have this G2 set that I never actually picked up. I've always been tempted, but there are just so many different repaints of the Sideswipe mold that honestly, I'm not entirely sure if I want to pick up another version of that character. Of course, Decepticon Phantom Strike Squadron. As we spin around here to the side, we've got the Siege artwork, which is a piece of artwork that I actually haven't seen for quite a considerable amount of time. And then finally, taking a look here at the top, Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy. So without further ado, you can see Thundercracker is just as excited to crack this open as I am. Let's crack Siege Skywarp out of his cardboard prison. So I imagine we'll have to take it here from the bottom, trying to be incredibly delicate, as of course we don't want to damage the amazing looking packaging that we actually do get for this figure. I'm really unsure as to why Hasbro keep on releasing all of these different Seekers for exclusives. The only one that is never an exclusive is Starscream, but all of the actual cool repaints such as Thundercracker and Skywarp, and even the Coneheads to an extent, are all exclusive releases. So let's slide this open. First impressions. Oh my goodness, this looks so awesome. I am thoroughly impressed. Check out the details here for Skywarp. He was definitely worth the wait. Honestly, he looks absolutely incredible. I did not know we got any of these blast effects, so that is a really nice surprise. And I don't believe I actually own any of these blast effects. Maybe these two. I think these came in the Hot Link set, but I certainly don't own this one, and I definitely don't own these ones. Such an amazing looking figure. Oh god. And then of course we've got the instructions here. Siege Skywarp. And then as we open these up, it is the standard Transformers Siege instruction manual. I'm quite unsure as to where this particular set was exclusive to in the first place. I'm certain it was an Amazon exclusive, although it was even more elusive to actually track down than the Coneheads that we got released last summer. And even, of course, Thrust. I've actually been given more opportunities to pick up Thrust than I have ever been here for Skywarp. This was literally the first opportunity that I had in years. 2021, this was released in 2019, so 2 years wait to actually get an opportunity to pick this up. And I just could not miss this out, because this is probably unlikely going to be a figure that I will ever get the opportunity to actually pick up again. And I suggest to any of you guys who want to complete your Siege Seekers, if an opportunity does arise for you to pick this guy up, then I would highly recommend to do so. I'm actually going to unbox this off camera as I don't want to cause any damage whilst using this box cutter, and then we'll come back and I'll give you an almost review / overview of everything that we do get in this set. And so here we have the Phantom Strike Squadron opened up and out of their packaging, and oh my goodness, as mentioned when I was actually cracking this out of the box, this is such a fantastic repaint, and it is such a shame that Hasbro make these figures so elusive to actually obtain, as I know there are many collectors who still desperately want this figure, despite it of course now being roughly 2 years old. I really have no idea as to why they do this, as there is so much fan demand for these figures, so honestly it would just make sense for them to re-release this figure so that it is a little bit more readily available for collectors. But anyway, taking a look here at Skywarp, of course for those of you who own Starscream and Thundercracker, you'll know exactly what to expect. This is essentially just Starscream's mold repainted in the traditional Skywarp grey, black, and of course purple. It does not have the same head sculpt that we got with Thundercracker, so for those of you who do not recall, Thundercracker did actually have an almost smirk here, whereas of course Starscream had a little bit more of a neutral expression, and that is the expression that they opted to give Skywarp. My critique still does retain from the Earthrise figures. I wish each and every one of them did have their own distinctive head sculpts, but nevertheless you can see that as far as the detailing is concerned, it looks really, really well done. The main colorization is just cast plastic, but despite it just being plastic, I think it works really well. You can see this almost metallic flake that we get here for these slightly almost gunmetal areas. They're not quite black nor grey, they definitely are a little bit more gunmetal in their design, but I think it works terrifically well, especially here with the purple. Of course we have the signature siege battle damage, but I think it works quite well here for Skywarp, and you can see there's some fantastic looking detailing. I don't ever believe I actually reviewed this particular mold on the channel, or maybe I did when I took a look at Hotlink, but prior to that I never reviewed Starscream or Thundercracker, so this is the first time in many years that I am in fact revisiting this. And of course we do have these amazing looking Battle Masters, which I also don't believe I have ever picked up. I do think this one came in the Netflix Optimus Prime Battle Pack as Enerax, and of course this time this guy's now called Pterodactyl, and of course he's got a fantastic looking blast effect there, as if those Skywarp is raining terror down on the Autobot opponents. And then as we take a look here down to the lower section, you can see some super nice looking detail there. I really love how that battle damage has turned out for the shins, and then spinning around here to the back, of course it is very similar to the other two guys. We just have the battle damage here on the wings. He does in fact come with 3 Battle Masters, so of course we do get Pterodactyl, we do get this guy which they refer to as Shroot, and then the final one we get is Decepticon Fracas, and Fracas here is exactly the same as the Battle Master that we got in the Hotlink pack, although this time in a slightly different colour scheme. And of course we do get 2 blast effects with this, which I've got to be honest and say are a really nice inclusion. Of course with Kingdom we haven't as of yet seen any blast effects, so to actually get them here with a set, it definitely was a nice surprise, and I think they complement the figure so nicely, so that is something I would like to see Hasbro perhaps include in future releases. Very quickly going through the transformation for these guys, of course it's very simplistic. You just remove all of this, well you're not actually supposed to detach this, but bring down the legs until they snap into place, and then remove the blast effects and just snap that there, and you can see some nice robot mode detailing there. Taking a look here at Shroot, of course we've got some super cool blue energy effects, which I actually believe will work quite well on Grapple, or even the new G1 Kingdom Inferno as almost water blast effects. And the transformation is the same as Fracas, so we just bring all this down, bring this down, snap that there into place, and you can see some nice Decepticon purple there with some really nice looking metallic blue highlight here for the torso and that Decepticon insignia. And then finally this guy's got to be my favourite, Pterodactyl. I love how it does become this axe here for Skywarp. The blast effect is awesome, and it actually makes for quite a convincing axe as well. And then of course we just take the head, lift this up, fold out the wings. The tail here you can just bring all the way back if you so desire, and there we have Pterodactyl fully transformed up. And you can see some really nice looking details here to the head sculpt, the metallic blue there for the eyes, and overall I actually think it's quite a decent figure. I was never a massive fan of the Battle Masters, but I've got to be honest and say that revisiting them here, I definitely am warming to them. They look really cool, and they create for some nice accessories for the figure. Now of course here with Skywarp, let's get down to the conversion. So and here we have Skywarp fully transformed up into his really awesome Cybertronian Tetrajet alt mode. And wrapping up this review and unboxing, here we have the original Siege Tetrajets fully transformed up into their astounding looking, of course, Tetrajet alternate modes. And honestly, on a personal level, this is a sight that I never ever thought that I would actually see. The Skywarp is by far the best repaint out of the three. It's such a shame that the best figure is, of course, the rarest one to obtain. You can just see the amazing metallic silver that we've got here for the nose cone. I think the battle damage works exceptionally well here for Skywarp, and the colour scheme honestly is remarkable. Of course, if you've watched my Sound Blaster review, I've always been a huge fan of these almost darker repaints for some of the characters, and I think it works exceptionally well here for, of course, our Siege Skywarp. So overall, definitely a pack that I'm so thrilled to add to the collection. Honestly, this was one of my holy grails for many, many years, and I'm super, super glad to actually acquire it. For those of you who missed out on this set and are looking to pick this up, honestly, I don't really have any advice on how you would actually go about doing so, as this is super, super rare. So unless you are able to pick it up on the aftermarket on places such as eBay and maybe even Amazon, I think it's going to be near enough impossible to actually find. But of course, I did have to wait 2 years, so just wait until the perfect opportunity does arise for you, and I'm pretty certain that you will be very, very impressed with your purchase. For those of you who were indeed lucky enough to actually obtain this figure, please feel free to let me know down in the comment section below on what you guys think of it, and are you glad that you now have this figure in your collection. I thank you all so much for watching this unboxing and review. If there are any particular figures that you wish for me to repurchase and, of course, review, please be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. I am aware that I pretty much did not review the entire Transformers Siege line despite owning pretty much all of the figures, so if there is also a figure from that line you would like to see reviewed, perhaps I could do a throwback video. Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. I thank you all so much for watching, and until my next review or video, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.